I have here with me the most sought out camera of all of 2024, and in this video I'm going to tell you why I think this camera is amazing and why I also think this camera might just be the future of photography. Hello everyone, this is Ernesto with Aftershoot, and today we're going to talk about the Fujifilm X100 VI. Okay, so first things first, let's get the technical aspects out of the way so we can focus on the real cool things about this camera. This is a 40 megapixel APS-C fixed focal length with an f2.0 aperture. This is a 23mm lens, which translated into full frame will reach something around the lines of a 35mm. So a very well-rounded lens. But why is this camera so popular? At the time of recording this video, July of 2024, this camera is sold out everywhere. You cannot find it in B&H, in Adorama, or wherever you like to get your gear. As a matter of fact, the people that pre-ordered this camera in February of this year are just now in July getting their orders. So why? Why is this camera so popular? Well, first of all, we gotta say, this is a very good looking camera. But apart from that, the fact that it's small makes this camera very portable. So a lot of people are buying this Fujifilm X100 VI to have it as their everyday camera. They wanna have something in their pocket that they can just take out and take photos of their kids, their friends, or whatever they're doing. And I know what you're gonna say. We already have our phones for that. And yeah, sure, phones might work for a lot of people, but people that are more into photography and want better quality out of their images certainly want a better camera. And of course, this thing here is gonna deliver way better images than any of your phones out there. But it's not just about the fact that this camera is portable and very good looking. To understand its popularity, we gotta talk about Fujifilm recipes. It's important to say that Fujifilm recipes did not start with this camera, but this is one of their latest products. So what are Fuji recipes? These are basically embedded styles that emulate the look of old Fujifilm rolls. In summary, they're there to emulate the look a photo would have if you would have taken that photo using a film camera that has a Fujifilm roll. But it doesn't just stop there, because film simulations are customizable, and that's how you create a Fujifilm recipe. Now you can create your own recipes, you can download them from different websites, or you can join different Fujifilm communities on Facebook, and of course, get a lot of recipes over there. But there's something you should know. You can use your recipes on JPEG files, but you cannot use them on RAW files. Now I know what you're thinking. As photographers, we always shoot RAW. RAW is like a religion. We gotta do it. So why am I going back to shooting JPEGs? And at the beginning, I was thinking the same way. This had me all confused. But the more I shot with recipes, the more I understood the whole purpose of it. You see, my process is very similar to a lot of people. I shoot RAW, I bring it into my computer, I do the selection, I edit my photos, and then I deliver. But if you're already getting out of the camera the vibe you want for your photo, I mean, the grain, the white balance, the color, the contrast, the style, then why do you need a RAW file? I mean, the photo is already done. There's no need to edit it. As a matter of fact, it's even better because you can get the photo and download it from your camera to your phone using the FUJI app, and then you're done. You don't have to go through the process of bringing the photo to your computer to start editing and selecting, and that takes time. This makes it easier to shoot and share. I've been taking photos with this camera for a month and I've been loving it. And of course, I've been taking photos of architecture and street photography and landscape and stuff like that. But there was a moment where I was in a photo shoot with my professional Sony camera and I was done doing what I had to do for a sports brand. They wanted some contrasty, very punchy photos, which is basically my style. And I said, you know what? Now that we have everything we need, how about I bring a camera I have that shoots film simulations, and I don't know, I'll just shoot a couple of photos, and if you like them, you can just share them on social media. And of course, I took my little camera. It looks silly, but I did, because I already had all I needed, and I shot a couple of photos and they loved it, because the photos that come straight out of this camera are simply amazing. That doesn't mean I'm ditching my Sony camera and I'm sticking to this little camera here and I'm gonna shoot JPEG from now on, and all my client work is only shot straight on JPEG. It's got nothing to do with it. This serves a different purpose. And I think that's very interesting. You see, when I first started in photography, I had one camera and maybe a couple of lenses, and everything was fun. Everything was entertaining. Everything was interesting. Just going out to shoot here and there, it was always an adventure. But as time went by and photography became my work, it became more mechanic. I got more lenses, heavier gear, and the more I did photography for work, the less fun it was. I still enjoy shooting photography, but it's my job. It's the way I make a living. So it occupies a different area in my brain. I'm sure it's happened to a lot of people. When your hobby becomes your work, then it stops being your hobby and you lose that initial interest you had in the beginning because now it's something you have to do and it's not something you choose to do for fun. I mean, even when I try to grab my Sony camera and just shoot things for fun, I immediately go into work mode. There's something about grabbing that camera that is basically my day-to-day work tool that just turns me immediately into a worker, and then, I don't know, it's not as fun as it used to be. But grabbing a different camera with a different system, a different menu, a different form factor, the fact that it has a fixed focal length, that I have to move around to actually make the photo interesting, the film simulations, all those changes bring back the fun that I felt in the beginning when photography was just a hobby and that I no longer feel when I'm just shooting for work. I'm not saying I get bored when I shoot photography for work, but the initial enthusiasm is not there, but it is when I grab this Fuji. So if I'm saying this camera is basically a hobby camera for me, why am I implying this might just be the future of photography? Bear with me. As time goes by, we're always looking for ways to make things easier. Now, we're using AI for everything. And just by looking at a camera that can provide results that I would have gotten by going through the process of editing, but straight out of camera, it just shows me something. I can picture AI finding itself into a camera and giving us straight out of camera results that look professional, that are ready to print or ready to publish, you know, color-wise, Lightroom presets, professional screen retouching. I mean, I know this is just a film simulation and it emulates something, but what if we're just a couple of steps away from having a camera with a system that just can provide a developed RAW with everything you want. You bring in your preset, you bring in your AI style or your AI profile, and the camera already knows what to do and how to shoot it, and you can actually see it on the screen and you can decide, you know what, this might be a little over or underexposed, and then you just dial it a little bit and you shoot and you're done. You skip the whole process of editing. I think that's very interesting, and it is my personal opinion that that's the path we're gonna go through. Anyways, that's my personal review of the Fujifilm X100 VI. I really like this camera. I would love to recommend it to everyone, but the problem is there's no way to get it. You can find it on the secondary market, but of course people are charging $1,000 over the original price. And of course, there's a trillion of scammers. I almost got scammed twice trying to get this one here. So you gotta be careful about that. But if you manage to get one, you're really gonna love it. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.